Chelsea, I see you checking on your phone right now, and you must be looking at when these NFL schedules are going to be released. I know you can't wait for the NFL to roll this out and say, guess what? Week 12, Seahawks, Eagles. Oh, let me see if I can find an early line on that and put down some money. Are you excited about this at all?
No, you shouldn't be betting on games in May. There are so many things that can happen. I know the schedule release is a big deal in the NFL. That's what the NFL does. They make everything a big deal because they like to steal the spotlight. But from a betting standpoint, I think there's a few things maybe you can glean from this, just situational spots that might be good for one team as opposed to the other. Say a team that has their bye week early on in the year and then finishing the year with a really brutal road schedule, maybe you can look at that. But still, like this early in the year, I'm not betting on anything. So we have plenty of time to let all of this information set in. But I think you're just looking for situational spots that might be tough for teams, whether it's travel, whether it's primetime games, going a Thursday night game or like a Monday night game where it's a short week and then they play a tough opponent. But other than that, I'm not reading too much into this.
Yeah, I'm not either. What we know thus far is that we have a handful of games in prime time. The Chargers are at the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. That's the first Amazon Prime game. Then we know of two games on Monday Night Football. Your Titans at the Bills, Vikings at the Eagles. And then we have the games in London. Week 4, Vikings at Saints. Week 5, Giants at Packers. Week 8, Broncos at Jaguars. Particularly when it comes to playing overseas, is there anything you can look at or take into consideration when it comes to travel or maybe the playing service that you say, all right, maybe I find an edge here? I don't necessarily think I can find one because both teams have to travel. Maybe one team has to travel farther than the other, but ultimately it's really hard for me to look at something like this and say, oh, I've got an angle here.
No, because also these are probably things that are built into the number and the spread. But, you can look at certain teams, and certain teams certainly have an advantage. Looking at the Steelers, they don't leave the Eastern time zone at all next year. So a very easy travel schedule compared to the Seahawks, who are traveling the most of any team, which is not a huge surprise because they're tucked away in the farthest corner of the United States. But at the bottom line, it's still the team and the players that are on the field that matter the most. Yes, the Steelers have an easy travel schedule, but who's their quarterback? Mitch Trubisky? Kenny Pickett? So I'm not sold on that factor alone being, something I'm going to base my bets on.
Oh, for sure. I think the one time I do really like looking at the schedule, and one thing I will look at is what's going to happen on Thanksgiving, because we know the Lions and Cowboys are going to play. They always play. And there are trends in those spots that you can follow. One in particular is that the Lions generally lose, but also the Lions have been really bad.
Right. And also, we're talking about a spread sport. So I think the Lions have lost 13 of their last 17 games on Thanksgiving and 0-4 in their last 4. But if I'm remembering correctly, I feel like they might have covered on this Thanksgiving. And plus,
they did.
Don't you think that the Lions are going to be a little bit better this year?
I think they're going to be much better. And also, Dan Campbell is 20-1 at BetMGM. Not the favorite, but up there. So even the odds say they are expecting Campbell and the Lions to improve this season.